All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to ePBS Breakout Call 26. Jump right in. I'd like to state that there is a new consensus specifications release, beta.1, which I believe we have decided to use for DevNet 0, ePBS DevNet 0, that is. Yep. There are some open PRs and there were quite a few closed PRs this week. I'm not going to go into each and every one of these, but feel free to review if you want. Just some open testing PRs. And then I've personally started reviewing the specs and just fixing up random things that I see. And there still are two open to do things that need to be fixed if anyone wants to make a PR. Okay, I guess we can just jump right into updates from client teams. Is there anyone from Prism that can give us an update?
Let's see. We haven't really merged anything to develop, unfortunately, because we're like blocked by Fusaka release, and we wanted to wait for the new spec because of the data column sidecar. We added a slot, and then we changed the field location for the slot. So we wanted to wait until that before we formal reviewing and merging that to develop. So we were able to finally start reviewing that yesterday. So hopefully once that's merged, we'll see more PRs getting merged to develop. But we have about like 8 open PRs right now that's actually implementing the beacon chain.md and passing spec tests. So hopefully it's just a matter of reviewing and merging that. Then we can start working on, say, for choice in parallel, P2P in parallel, validate on the spec in parallel, and getting ready for DevNet 0. But yeah, I would say majority of the process right now, progress is blocked by merging things to develop.
Got it. That makes sense. But that's great. Promise that they're both traveling this weekend. I see. Okay. Thank you. Is there anyone from Lighthouse here? Maybe Mark, that can give an update?
Yeah, I mean, progress is ongoing. We're working on block processing right now, and some people are joining the effort, so hopefully that should accelerate. But yeah, still a ways off.
Got it. And any other updates, Shane? I think you're also part of Lighthouse, right?
Hey, yeah, just echoing what Mark said, and we are starting to at least get some PRs into like a conga line of PRs. So especially, going straight into like a develop branch, kind of taking it as like first starting with like, the types for containers, and then we'll have for it PR in the conga line, load processing. In the end, when we're ready, we'll merge all that into a develop branch. So a little bit more sequential, I guess.
Got it. Thank you. All right. Who from Teku would like to give an update?
Yeah, I can give an update. We've been merging a couple of things to master in Teku, making some progress. Yeah, pretty much that's it. A few things here and there, but majority, I think, haven't started on fork choice or any database changes, so I can't speak much about when we will be ready for that.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. I don't see anyone from Nimbus here. Correct? Okay. Could someone from Lodestar or Caleb?
Hi. So I'm Caleb. I'm working on this stuff on Nimbus. I'm joining the team soon officially. So we've been merging a couple of stuff to the unstable branch. I think we just have the networking aspect to complete. We're about 70% there. We're yet to touch fork choice at all, but soon, I guess. So that's it from us.
Okay. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess Lodestar next. Who wants to give an update?
Hey, so Losar, we have implemented everything in well, at least the first half of the state transition. So everything from EPUB processing, block processing, except for the processing and execution payload envelope. And we are passing about 2/3 of the operation spec test. So we need to continue to debug like what's wrong. And afterwards, we'll touch the other stuff such as fork choice.
Okay. Thank you. And last but not least, Grandine.
Yeah, so we're also progressing on ePBS implementation, but I think we likely are like a few weeks from implementing it. So yeah, there is good progress, but we are still need to do a lot.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. I guess we can jump into the next agenda item. Mehdi, would you like to talk about your proposed changes to attestation data?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, basically, I wanted to address the issue with the attestation data index field, uh, where basically we have a field named index that doesn't hold an index at all, and so in Electra we chose to hard code it to 0 to avoid the complexity, and now we are using it to signal the payload status, which is to me very confusing from a spec perspective. And even from an implementation perspective, it could be really hard to handle since we could end up like doing a lot of checks to check which fork we are in to know how to consume that field, basically. So yeah, my proposal is to rename it to payload status. And for simplicity, I kept the same type, which is UN64, to avoid any SSE serialization added complexity. So yeah, basically that's my proposal.
Thank you. I don't know if I mean, have we ever renamed a field before in the consensus specs? I don't know how difficult that is for teams, if it's difficult at all.
Yeah, I mean, renaming the field would be the same thing as it basically, I guess it means introducing a new container because it's like removing a field or adding a new one. So, and that was one of the arguments against this change because it could imply adding a new GLOAS container for the attestation data. But to be honest, I mean, there is added complexity anyway. If we keep it like that, like checking the fork each time to know how to consume the index field would definitely add complexity and confusion in the code. And adding a new container also would add some boilerplate code, but I guess that it's worth the effort in my opinion because it makes the spec really clear and less confusing. And I personally prefer that approach since either way we will have some added complexity. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Got it. How do others feel about this?
Yeah, I think I'm coming from the difficulties, let's call like that, after Electra, that we had a lot of long tail bugs associated to index field specifically. Due to the fact that from the code perspective, everything referring to that was perfectly fine, but then the interpretation of it changed, and nothing was breaking, but it was actually, and I think it was the source of several bugs. I don't think only in Teku. So of facing those changes early by changing the underlying
data structure forces us to deal with these things earlier, and once things work, we have the guarantees that everything is fine. Plus, we have a better spec reading. So I think worth discussing this and evaluating clearly this.
How do other devs from other teams feel? Otis, how do you feel?
Yeah, I'm very strongly against this, but I mean, it's not a hill that I'm willing to die for. So if other teams want to make this change, I'm happy. But for us, it's really a nightmare to change these containers. I definitely recognize that the spec becomes much nicer, or at least less ugly. And this is already that spec depth from Electra that we probably should have changed it. Because then we actually did have to change a lot of the attestation paths. So probably then it would have been little extra complexity and implementation, and it was worth it. But this time I don't see how can it possibly be worth it. I don't know how Teku manages this and how is this issue of like checking the fork or not. But the way we process attestations is we get an attestation, and to be able to deserialize it, we need to know essentially in which kind of fork we are, because, well, we have a different container with a list of or not, for Electra or not. But after we deserialize it, we just run a simple check. I mean, this attestation is of this type, or this attestation is of that type, and we send it to the corresponding processing function. The only thing that would change now with the current status is just add one extra line. If the attestation data slot is after the after the GLOAS fork, just send it to process attestation in GLOAS, which is an entirely new function. And if it's before, then you just send it to the previous function that you had. So it's just a single line, and I don't care. I mean, within that function, which is the GLOAS function, you're going to treat the index one way, and without this function, you're going to treat it and the index check that is 0 if it's pre-Electra, if it's Electra. So I don't see how that extra complexity is going to be saved. We anyways need to implement this new helper function that is the process attestation in GLOAS, and you anyways need to do this branching depending on the fork that you are. So the extra complexity that would come from changing the attestation data type is a lot of boilerplate. Well, for us, at least, it's just an incredibly large amount of boilerplate. We're going to need to add interfaces for the attestation data, that we currently don't have, because we're going to have like different types that will need to implement that interface of the attestation data type. Did I get kicked out?
It looks like you got dropped for a second. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I
Please
don't know
continue.
where I stopped, but anyway, so at least from my point of view, I don't see how adding this, it's not increasing difficulty and strictly increasing difficulty without removing any of the difficulty. And I don't see how it can prevent bugs of the form of like, how do you deal with the index? Because you do the branching before this. You do the branching onto which function you're processing the attestation before you need to check what the value of the index is. But again, I mean, even though I'm strongly opposed to this, because I do feel like for us it's going to be a lot of complexity, if other teams besides just Teku want to have this, I'm happy. I'm happy not to die on this hill.
I like Lighthouse could do this as well internally in our code base and have I mean, we have a process for changing data structures from one fork to another because we've done it many times. And as we saw with Electra, that changing the attestation just the attestation, not even the attestation data, was already a lot. If we change the attestation data, we would have to do more, and then we would need to, I mean, we could leverage the fact that we've already changed the attestation. It wouldn't be quite as difficult the second time, but still, like, I mean, we didn't change this in Electra because it was a bunch of extra work, and we could change, and we're adding a bunch of extra work now. Yes, it's like the fact that it's named index is inelegant, but you're adding, I don't know, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. Like, is it cleaner? Yes. But yeah, it's just like if we didn't do it in Electra, I don't see a reason to do it now. Yeah, kind of echoing what Poto said. Like we have so many things to do, man. And this is a small inelegance, which if we ever need to change like if there ever comes a time where we need to change the attestation data, that is when I would propose we fix it.
Thank you. Yes, Elias?
Yes, so for Grandina, it also would be hard to implement such change and maybe a little bit less than the new attestation type we had in Electra, but we would be against this change just because of the huge complexity in the code base. So, I mean, likely, at least our opinion is that it's too little value compared to the so much hassle in the code base.
Okay. Thank you all. I think I liked Mark's idea of like if and when we need to change attestation data in the future, we push fixing this until then. So that would mean not including this in class right now. Does that sound fine to everyone? All right. Mehdi, thank you for the PR, but please close it whenever you have time. Next agenda item, I guess would be Mark's topic. Mark, do you want to bring this up again?
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at the gossip conditions for payloads and noticed we didn't have one about, well, this is for beacon blocks. And I put the relevant pieces for beacon blocks in there. I should have linked also the gossip conditions for payloads, but let me see if I can find that real quick because I have it open in one of these tabs here. Just give me one second. Okay, it's not. I have too many tabs open, but we just don't have a. We don't have like a condition like this for payloads, and I'm wondering if we need one. Maybe we don't, but we could have one, and I was wondering if it was intentionally excluded. Here we go. Here's the gossip conditions for payloads. And I'm wondering if we intentionally excluded this or not. Like we just have that the envelope's block root has been seen, right? We don't have that this is like a timely payload or I mean we do have that the slots are equal, but there's nothing regarding.
But doesn't it preclude the condition? The first condition is about like a block being from the future, right? A block from the future slot.
Yes.
And you couldn't have seen a block from a future slot. Therefore, if you only import your payload after you've seen a block, then you couldn't have you're not importing a payload from the future. So I think this is implied already.
I suppose, yeah. And what was the second condition? Oh, maximum clock disparity. Yeah. So and the second condition was greater than finalized slot. So that would, I guess, do we have a condition that says we can't receive a payload like an older payload? That we have something blocking the future payloads. Do we have an older payload that we're not going to be accepting?
I don't see
so
one.
the second condition is about a block being older than the latest finalized one. We
Yes.
just don't take it over gossip, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I think this is a good one. We should add a line saying that if the block root is later than the latest finalized, then we don't gossip the payload for that block root.
Okay.
That's a good catch.
Yep, agreed. Would you open a PR for this, Mark?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I think that's it for the agenda today. Is there anything anyone would like to talk about before we end the call?
Yeah, I'm just curious from like DevConnect if there's any ideas for like interop and ePBS stuff, maybe things we haven't really sorted out, like dual PTC deadlines and things like that.
I'm unaware of anything, but we should definitely get a group together to like discuss all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it'd be nice
Yeah, the server's
to
available.
get ideas on the deadlines, on the dual deadlines. It'd be nice to get ideas on the numbers, but I think this whole business of the pre-option problem would influence there. So I think it's going to take us time to be in a place where we're actually benchmarking what's the right numbers for those.
Yeah, I have another question after this too, actually. Unless
Okay.
if you're
Pretty much we're done with this, but I'll talk with like POTUS and Chain and try to get something organized.
so my question is, if we are doing this second validation that it's greater than the finalized slot, well, I don't know, that's an interesting because we have a payload timeliness committee and payloads have to be timely. I guess blocks do too. I don't know. And I have to wonder why this is only restricting blocks on gossip to being greater than the finalized checkpoint and not anything more recent than that, given that blocks themselves should be timely. And is that condition the same? Like, is that modified at all between blocks and payloads because we have a payload timeliness committee? Like, can we make a tighter assumption about how far back the boundary is with payloads? Is my question.
Why? I don't understand. I mean, this the timeliness of the payload or not has nothing to do with the propagation of the payload, right? So we want to be propagating payloads because that's a branching for choice that we want to see. I mean, the timeliness or not of it, I think it's independent. This is something about like boosting or allowing for payments, but I think we do want to be able to propagate branches that we hadn't seen.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this older than finalized has to do with the fact that we are not anyways
Yeah, we
going to
cut off
advance
the
on
branches.
a branch that is contending with our finalization.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I was just thinking through that because yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Anything else from anyone? Alrighty. Thank you everyone for joining. Talk to you all again in 2 weeks.
Thank you, guys.